with the agency is appearing before the ED. As far as the Congress's stand is concerned, they're maintaining that this is vindictive action by the Modi government. But the reason we're saying that this is going to lead to a showdown is because the Delhi police has refused to give permission for any sort of protest march by the Congress. The Congress's plan is this, that from the AICC headquarters in Akbar Road, they're going to be marching all the way to the ED office. And the kind of reports we've been getting from the ground, our reporters are out there in every single location, from Rahul Gandhi's house to the Congress headquarters to the ED office, and it's unprecedented security on the ground. There are barricades all across. Entry points into the Congress office have been closed off. Similar, the ED office as well. There's a huge deployment also of personnel. And essentially what they're doing is they're not allowing people to gather in large numbers at the Congress headquarters. At the ED office, prohibitory orders have been put in place to ensure that nobody can move in large numbers there. Rahul Gandhi alone, along with ED officers, will be allowed to move towards the office much before the headquarters itself. They closed it down with barricades, and no Congress leader is going to be allowed beyond that. But the Congress has maintained that they're going to continue with this satyagraha. And the Congress leaders that I've been speaking to from early this morning while we were live on our broadcast on India Today TV, their message is very clear. They're saying that we're not going to back off no matter what, that if the BJP wanted to hold this kind of an agitation, they'd have been given permission. So why have we been denied permission when we've stated that this is a peaceful march? There's no reason for it to be called off. So the Congress maintaining that we're going to go for this no matter what. And they've said that, to level these allegations of corruption against the Gandhis, it's extremely false, it's extremely grave, and it shows that in a democratic setup, if someone doesn't agree with the central agency issuing summons to their leader, they can't even voice the opposition to that. And that's why they've raised serious questions of on what basis the Delhi police has denied permission for them to hold this kind of a peaceful march. Why in a democracy they're not allowed to go forward with this protest? Well, we've been getting you voices from both sides, from the BJP also on this. The BJP is maintained, and interesting reactions from the likes of Shehzad Poonawalla, who said that this is not a satyagraha, it's a scamagraha. And they've said that this is the All India Corrupt Committee, and all of this protest, this march, etc., is nothing but nautanki. So the BJP going all guns blazing against the Congress, saying that only the Grand Old Party will come out to defend corruption and then go ahead and hold this kind of a protest march. Of course, there have been questions being asked to the Congress that, look, they're well within their right to hold this kind of an agitation, but why didn't they hold this kind of a mega agitation on so many issues like inflation? Yes, they've come out to condemn it, they've spoken about it, but the kind of rallying point that Rahul Gandhi has been, why haven't issues that have plagued the country been that kind of a rallying point for the Grand Old Party? And it's not just in Delhi, there are protests happening across the country. 25 ED offices, Congress workers are gathering, Girawing, holding protests at. And besides that, at several other locations, these huge delegations of Congress leaders gathering to express their solidarity with Rahul Gandhi and to protest this move of summoning him in this particular case. We're hearing Priyanka Gandhi will also be a part of the agitation today, where she's going to be walking along with her brother. She's at Rahul Gandhi's residence as we speak. And we're getting in a number of pictures also of several of these leaders, Congress leaders, gathering at this point. We understand at this point that there will in fact be a lot more police personnel as we speak. There's additional deployment that's been planned across, in fact, Rahul Gandhi's residence, at the Congress headquarters and at the ED office. All of this is very close. It's just kilometers away. So we're being told that Rahul Gandhi will walk from the Congress headquarters all the way to the ED office, and he'll be accompanied by scores of his leaders, by scores of Congress workers. With the Delhi police denying permission, it means essentially that things are going to lead to a clash. This is the first time, mind you, that Rahul Gandhi has been summoned in the National Herald case. The allegation, of course, is of money laundering of the National Herald newspaper by Young Indian, which is in fact owned by Associated Journals Limited. So it's a case that's haunted the Gandhis for the last 10 years. Remember that Rahul Gandhi is out on bail in this particular case, as is his mother Sonia Gandhi. And Sonia also will be appearing before the Enforcement Directorate in a few weeks from now. The Gandhis have made it very clear that we have nothing to hide. We're going to be cooperating with the investigation. We're going to be cooperating with the central agency. But in the course of that, you're seeing all of this huge support this rally. It's become a political stunt essentially, as the Congress has made it clear that they're going to be going forward with the agitation come what may. This is a very, very big story today, because in a few moments from now, Rahul Gandhi will be walking up to the ED office, and there's going to be confrontational scenes that play out, because the Delhi police has made it very clear that there's no permission that's been granted for this particular protest march. We'll be getting you all the latest updates on that story here on India Today. This Monday, what's dominated headlines is this particular issue of Rahul Gandhi being summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. All those updates, much more here on India Today's social media handles. Thanks for the moment.